Hello and welcome to a modern video. Today we're going to be trying out a very spicy brew that I tried in the past, but I've made significant changes since then. And we're going to see whether those changes are actually impactful enough to turn this into a competitive deck. So this deck is built around the one and only, everybody's favorite Ooze. That is, of course, Slogurk the Overslime. 3 mana, 3/3 trample, legendary creature. Whenever a land is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you put a +1/+1 counter on this bad boy. You remove 3 counters and you can bounce it back to your hand. And finally, when it leaves the battlefield, note that it's a leave effect, so it's not a die effect. So if it gets solitude, if it gets bounced by the fairy or whatever, you still get this trigger. You return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. Obviously, the combo here is we are going to have some effectively Life from the Loam on a stick. And then we're going to have multiple ways of growing the Slogger. That would be by fetching, by channeling our lands, by Urza Saga just sort of running its course, and even cycling, Kitria Triumph and Forgotten Cave. All of those do grow the Slogger, sacrificing lands with Reclaimer, discarding them with Seismic Assault, discarding them to Fable of the Mirror Breaker. All of these different ways we have of triggering Slogurk. And then the ideal scenario would be we set up a Seismic Assault plus this guy, and then we can do some very serious damage, as you can probably imagine. We basically get 3 triggers per 3 lands that we have, per 3 mana that we have, right? And this we can sort of loop in and of itself. The big card that we're adding to the deck that I have not tried in my previous versions is Fable of the Mirror Breaker. This card has sort of taken over Modern. It does so many different things and it just accrues so much value. So we're going to be trying this out. Obviously in this deck, what it does, not only does it ramp, which is a big deal with a deck that is quite mana hungry, but it draws us towards our Seismic Assault or Slogurk or even Life from the Loam. And it can discard all of the many lands that we're going to be bringing back to hand thanks to Wrenn, Slogurk, and Loam. So we can turn those cards into more impactful cards as well, which is a pretty nice little feat. We are also playing some Monkeys and Reclaimers. Monkey because, well, it's Monkey, it's busted, so we kind of have to. And then Reclaimer is obviously a card that has a lot of synergy going on with this deck. We are playing Urza Saga in the deck. I'm not going too deep on the Saga things. Like, again, we're more than a Seismic Assault deck than we are a Saga deck, but, you know, the interaction between Wrenn and Saga can obviously not be overstated. Like, this is extremely powerful, and you know, if we're already playing Reclaimer, then having access to Saga and then Expedition Map, Shadow Spear, Soulguide Lantern are pretty solid additions to the deck. We also have some Bolt and Holy Hits as form of removal, and finally, everybody's favorite ESET card, Inexpressive Iteration. This card is absurd. It's ridiculously good. So yeah, that's that. Finally, in the sideboard, we have access to some Mystical Disputes, Force of Vigor, and then Endurance. Of note, Force of Vigor and Endurance are cards that I don't think we will be pitching to very often. Sure, like if we find ourselves in that situation, we're going to be pitching to them if we need to, but we don't really have the green card count to be able to do that reliably. But these cards are so impactful in the matchups where they matter that I still consider that I need to have some copies of these cards. Couple of copies of Veil of Summer. There's a card that consistently underwhelms me, but I mean, when it works, it's really good. So I just keep on smashing my face against the wall by putting Veil of Summer in my sideboard, in the sideboards of my brews. Then we have Chalice and Void Mirror. These are obviously against Cascade more than anything else, but they have some other potential utility as well, mostly against decks like Murktide or whatnot. Engineered Explosives against Hammer more than anything, but it can also work out against Rhinos and whatnot. Piting Needle is our sideboard toolbox card for Urza Saga. And then a couple of copies of Boseiju and Bojuku Bog. Obviously, Bog we can find with Elvish Reclaimer, pretty good against graveyard strategies. And then we can sack it to Reclaimer, get it back with Wrenn, Slogurk, Loam, and sort of get that effect multiple times. Finally, the last 2 copies of Boseiju, I wanted to make sure that I have access to 4 in the 75. Because we actually have both Ragavan and Slogurk as ways of as ways of making it cost only a single green mana to channel Boseiju. And once we get that going, if we are activating Boseiju like 2-3 times a turn, it may not take long before we actually lock our opponents out. But obviously it's here more than anything against decks like Hammer, against decks like Amulet and stuff like that. So this is going to be the deck. This is going to be the brew that we're going to be playing today through the Modern League. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you would like to support my content, you have multiple ways of doing so, all available in the description of the video down below, be it Patreon, Metafy, or by making donations straight up. So thank you so much for watching, and let's see how the deck works in round number 1. Alright, so this hand is very slow, huh? This hand is quite slow. We can go turn 1, Stomping Ground Cycle. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna ship this. This seems much better. Let's keep this one. Bottom, Soul Guide Lantern, say go. Kind of nice that we get to make make a little Blue-Red Murktide impersonation over here. Go in turn 1 Steam Vents. And I'm still going to go turn 1, even though I found a Reclaimer there. Because if I go turn 1 Ragavan, if I connect, then I can turn 2... Okay, so opponent's on Amulet. I can go turn 2 Iteration and hit my land drop. Opponent plays Amulet, floats mana, Gracer. Kind of sucks. Well, I sure wish I were playing Blue-Red Murktide instead of my brew. I'll tell you that much. Sure wish I were playing Blue-Red Murktide instead of my brew. It's not very good. Let's attack, see what happens. If they block with Dryad, I can heat and makes the correct play. Can play Reclaimer here. And do I want to heat this thing? I think I have to, actually. Like, I just put something in the graveyard, man. Like, my hand is so bad. Like, I really needed for this monkey to connect. If we had been on the play, I feel like we would have been so far ahead in this game. If my opponent shows me a Titan here, I'm just going to concede. And do we have it? We do have it. Alright, so Boseiju. We like Boseiju. We like Force. Not the biggest fan of Lightning Bolt, though Bolt is pretty solid versus Gracer specifically. Soul Guide can go. Does Needle matter? I don't think so. Don't care about Endurance. Chalice is a little bit interesting. I don't think that is gonna do it for me though. It's probably the last card in the deck. Like, this is fine. I'd rather have Chalice than Void Mirror, just because it costs less mana. But yeah, they're basically there just to counter Summoner's Pact specifically, and I guess nothing else. Game 2 on the play. Turn 1 Monkey, keep this. Let's go Stomping Ground here. And fetch for ground and then play Monkey. Now, if they have turn 1 Gracer, Dismember. Oh, Engineered Explosives. I don't care. Definitely do not care about that. Would kind of like to flip a... If I flip a Gracer, that would be kind of nice for me. Primeval Titan, not so nice for us. So I think we're just gonna... Ren? We could Gurk. I don't think that really does anything for me though. So I'm just gonna go Ren and I'm just gonna draw some cards. Obviously I'm not gonna play this Expedition map in the face of the Engineered Explosives. Wanna play Saga. It's fine. Nice. Alright. And I please swing. If opponent cracks, I think I want to Boseiju now, because it costs me 1 less mana. And then I can Ren plus Boseiju. Wait, they don't have basics? How do they not have basics? Okay, plus on Boseiju. That's easy. And I guess we're gonna get basic Mountain and play the Gurk. Yep, this is looking good. This is looking pretty solid. Opponent could have Bog, I guess. Bug would be kind of annoying, but then I can just expedition map for a fetch and get going again. So it's kind of annoying, but not really. Oof. Oof indeed. So here, I'm gonna trigger the Gurk. This is great. We're doing the thing. The thing is being done. 1, 2, 3. Here's Seismic Assault. Okay, so I guess I can't Bossage you here, which is a little bit awkward. So we're gonna get back my lands at least. It's not the worst. Seismic Assault resolves, and I guess I'm gonna play this expedition map and say go. We have 8 points of damage. 10, 12. If I draw land, I win. That would be 14. Yep. That's all. Alright, awesome. Game 3. Any changes on the draw? I still think that Bolt is my worst card. Maybe Bolt is better. I guess Void Mirror stops. I guess Void Mirror stops Force of Vigor, which is interesting. Void Mirror stopping Force is definitely interesting. But on the draw, that probably doesn't matter. I think this is fine. PD Needle is the only card that I would consider, but this hand seems a little bit too slow. Ugh. If this were a Stomping Ground or a fetch, I would snap this off, but opponent moves to 6. Can I keep this? Okay, can we please draw land? It's an Amulet. Easy. So I'm still gonna go get red green, sorry, Stomping Ground. And I think I'm gonna play the Chalice right now. Because there is a world where this Chalice matters, right? Like if my opponent has second Amulet and they have a turn 2. Gracer sucks for me a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Ujuka Bog. Huh. I can Bossage you this, but then I don't hit my land drop. The problem is like the constructs are a big deal, and the other thing is also a big deal. Like the fact, like the construct is a big deal, and the extra Amulet is also a big deal. Really far behind here. I probably just have to. I have to eat it up. I think I have to play the Bossage you and expedition map. So next turn I can connect with the monkey, potentially. Rot Farm. Okay. Bouncing Bossage you. Okay. It's not bad. So Bossage you destroys the Chalice. We're gonna hit that. Then monkey connects. And now I get a... Nice. So we're gonna play the land. We're going to I think we just have to crack map for Bossage you and blow up the Saga. I feel like second Amulet's gonna kill us. Bossage you, blow that up. This allows my opponents to Bossage you my Chalice here, which obviously is not ideal, but I just have to hope that they don't have another bounce land and they don't have an Amulet. We know that they have Bossage you in hand. Relic. Don't care too much about that. Second Saga is a little bit annoying. We know they have Bossage you in hand. Let's start by attacking. So move to combat. Let's connect here. Let's gather more information. We exile a castle and we make a treasure. So now we're going to iteration and see what's up. Expressive iteration. What are we looking for? Ren and 6. Yeah, you got my Unholy Heat champion. I guess Loam is okay. I can force the crack of the relic. It's not super great, but I definitely want to hold on to the fetchland hand, so I'd rather hold on to the Scalding Tarn, I think. So play Bixie Forest, Loam back, Bossage you. Opponent's probably gonna crack relic now. That's fine. Now the question is, do we dredge Loam on upkeep? Because that's 3 looks at finding Bossage you, but I think we're not supposed to. Would love to see a Fable. Fable would be sick. I mean, obviously, you know, if they have prime time, we're just dead, right? So that's a Dryad. It's not a Primeval Titan. Okay. Saga is scary though. I think I have to draw. Like this is definitely close, but I think I have to draw. 1, 2, 3, Fable. Opponent could Boseiju the Fable. I think I want to hold on to the Tarn. It's one more card to draw. I guess holding on to the Boseiju for all this time is going to pay off for my opponent. Making some constructs. I feel like I can overpower the constructs. The Dryad is a lot scarier. And also the fact that... Huh. Okay. Did they... I guess they drew the Primeval Titan? Second Amulet. I guess they drew the prime time because otherwise the Saga could have found the Expedition map, and then Expedition map turns into a Tolera West turns into a Summoner's Pact, and they have the answer to the Chalice already. Outland Liberator. Wow. I'll take 4, thank you very much. I guess they could have made it 5 if they wanted to. So their hand has to be Bounce Land. Their hand has to be Bounce Land plus Boseiju. Like, we know for a fact about the Boseiju, but the other hand needs to be a Bounce Land. I'm assuming that because they played out the other Bounce Land. Sure. So that deals with the Fable, which is obviously pretty bad for us. We need to get lucky again. I guess we technically can do that. Let's... I guess I'm going to play Triumph and just say go. Like, I'm going to hold on to this, so next turn... I get to Dredge Loam. We Dredge Loam and play Seismic Assault. These constructs are too big though, so it's probably not gonna matter. The mulligan ended up hurting us very badly. Yeah, not gonna be able to beat the Mul. These constructs are some wild constructs. Valakut. Okay. Floating some mana. Play out Boseiju. Grazer. Last land is a bounce land, as we assumed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 0-1, but that was a close game. Interesting that we ended up dying to constructs. Never need to cast Primeval Titan. See you in the next round. Round number 2. Pretty solid hand. We can go turn 1 removal if we need, or turn 1 reclaimer, turn 2 Ren. Those seem like pretty... all around pretty solid starts to this hand. So turn 1 Reclaimer. Opponent plays Sanders Lounge. I'm assuming it's going to be playing some creativity over there. Fatal Push. Maybe they're playing some control deck. Okay. So we have... I'm going to get Steam Vents here because we actually have... what's his name in the deck? We have Expressive Iteration. If my opponent is indeed playing a control deck, this should be a pretty strong start. Turn 2 Ren is always a banger. Maybe my opponent's playing some Sugu. We're gonna get to see Fable in action next turn, which is nice. Opponent plays Arid Mesa. Okay. Weird, but fine, I guess. Is this Fire Ice? You got me. Don't really care about that. So... play my land, fetch. I think I'm gonna fetch for a basic forest. No, let's get another Stomping Ground. Let's play Shadow Spear. Let's plus and say go. And the reason is that I shocked is because I'm playing around my opponent having been on creativity first of all, which now that I see Arid Mesa, I think it's very likely they are on creativity. Before the Mesa, I was considering something else, but now that I see the Arid Mesa, they're 100% on creativity. All right, fetch. Yeah, confirms the creativity. Really? They're just YOLOing like that? That's weird, but sure. Okay, so now we get the option. Now we get the option to Gurk or to Fable. I think I want a Gurk because it puts more pressure on them. Because now this turns into a 4-4, which is nice. Also, I can turn it into a 5-5 if I want to, which is also very nice. So we can turn it into a 5-5 at instant speed, and then I can suit it up with Shadow Spear. Opponent could have push. Tainted Indulgence. Okay. Discarding snow-covered mountain. Hard evidence. Okay. So I guess I want to bolt the crab. We bolt the crab there. Reclaimer is interesting. So let's fetch here. Grow Slogurk a little bit more. Get a basic forest. Plus Ren. And I think I'm gonna go with Fable. And the reason for this is like we have heat. I'm not gonna play the Reclaimer because we have heat plus Boseiju. So even if my opponent goes for Dwarven Mind token and they attempt to creativity for X equals 2, we can still get them. And even if they have X equals 3, we can sack the shaman to the single surviving Archon. Yeah, so they're just gonna creativity X equals 2, and we're gonna blow them out again. This is so satisfying. This is so satisfying right here. This right here. Oh man. Oh, what a delight. Oh, what a delight. That is what I'm living for. That is what I lived for. Fantastic. So I think I'm just gonna discard land plus Reclaimer. Opponent just packs it in. They don't even want to see anymore. They're like, yep, done. We are done here. Okay, so what do we want? I think we want Veils and Explosives. And that's about it, really? I think I want to cut Seismic Assault. Opponent didn't show me a single red source, a green source, sorry, so I'm assuming this is the Grixis version, which I think it's the worst out of all the versions, really. I think I'm gonna cut a couple of Reclaimers and go with this. I guess Soul Guide Lantern doesn't do anything. So I'd rather have another Reclaimer instead of Soul Guide. Dispute is interesting. I don't think it really stops anything. I guess I'm just gonna bring them in like 3 mana leak. It's still like it's bad, but it is what it is. And cut a Lightning Bolt. Let's go with this. Basic Island, hurting too much. It's mulligan this hand, and I guess we're gonna keep this one. We are gonna bottom the loam. We already have Ren. It's fine. Steam Vents on 1. I'm assuming this is gonna be a crab. Okay. Some crab action for OP. I think I'm shocking this Stomping Ground. I could play it tapped, but I think I'd rather shock. And that allows me to bolt the crab. So I get to use my mana a little bit more efficiently. It's definitely not great. I do like the fact that Veil stops their turn to Fire Eyes. Like it counters their Fire Eyes. They don't get to draw a card. And I think that's good enough for me to do, by the way. Okay, so I think we're dashing here. I'm not a big fan of Dashing Monkey, but I think in this specific scenario, it's good to do that. Like, it forces my opponent to act now. They have to fetch shock, which they may not want to do. They do have the push, though. And I'm not using the mana any other way, so it just works out. This Total War is a little bit awkward here, though. That is for sure. Every time. Every time I play the card Veil of Summer in my deck, it just ends up being embarrassing. Every single time. Okay, at least they took it this time. Can I find a fetch land off the top? Does that even matter? Okay, that's not bad. Oh, come on. Really? Alright, bottom exile. That's brutal. Playing 25 lands right now. 25 lands. I need per iteration whiffs. If they have it here, though, I'm just gonna concede. Like, we can't beat it. So, they get the Dwarven Mine. Let's get close to that concede button. And I guess I get to see whether they're playing Archon or they're playing maybe the Angels or something. Maybe Emrakul. So we do get a little, I guess we do get a little bit of information. Okay, so they are playing Emrakul. Okay, good thing I did not concede prematurely. So obviously there's nothing, like the only thing that beats an Emrakul on board is the Otawara that's in play, right? So I can't beat that, but we did gather some information. My opponent's playing multiple pushes, so the Veils are fine. And yeah, them revealing Emrakul is pretty telling. I think this is fine. Like, I don't think that I can just blindly name a fetch land and hope that it works. So I think that I'm just going to submit this again. Don't think Boseiju does anything really. Bog doesn't do anything. Void Mirror doesn't do anything. More Reclaimers is the only thing that I would consider. Get to be on the play though. And we have a non-unplayable hand. I love me some non-unplayable hands. I wonder if, since we're playing Iteration, if I should make room for some Mishra's Baubles. Honestly, not sure. I'm gonna play Misty on one. Like, I doubt that we get to a point where we're cycling Ketria Triumph, but I like to represent Veil of Summer. Okay, turn 1, fetch, go. Opponent plays Mire, then passes the turn. Okay, so we're gonna fetch for a Stomping Ground. And untap. Another Slogurk is not great. So what I could do is I could go fetch for blue source and I could loam. I think that's fine. It allows me to guarantee my land drops on the subsequent turns. I don't have to go to discard. I think this is fine. But I'm obviously not going to dredge. Opponent fetches Sanders Lounge. Oh yes, you love to see it. You love to see it. So I think I'm just fetching for a green source here. Oh, that's good. So yeah, because I want to make sure that if I draw a Seismic Assault, I can cast it. So here's a mountain, green, blue, red. Here we go. I have not seen Bolt from my opponent. They could have one, but worst case scenario, we get back our fetch land, and like if they have Bush, they actually need to enable it, which is nice. Okay, so opponent is also playing Iteration. Understandably so, this card's messed up. Revealing Tainted Indulgence, which they wouldn't be able to cast. Okay. Don't think I want to loam here, but I kind of do want to Iteration. Okay, so hand, bottom, exile, play fetch for, I guess, another Stomping Ground here. I guess I could dash. I'll just get another Stomping Ground. Yeah, okay, let's dash. Actually, no, I'm just gonna deploy this monkey and swing for 4. If my opponent wants to use removal on the monkey, that's fine. Like, if my opponent were playing the green version of this deck, I would have dashed instead, because that would play around Renan 6, but they're not, so maybe I should have Boseiju the Sanders Lounge, actually. Huh. Boseiju on the Sanders Lounge is very interesting. So they do this for X equals 3. So I guess I just boulder face, and that puts more pressure on them. So now I can, I can turn this into a 7 power creature, at least. No, that doesn't work like that. Like, I would need to dredge into some good stuff. Never mind, doesn't quite work. Don't think I loam here. Saga's nice. Saga is very nice. So play Fable, swing 4. So, actually, now that I think I'm just gonna do this right now. Like, it makes my opponent's mana worse. Like, if they get a black source, and like they can get a black source here and push, and they save life. But if they do that, then I get back 3 lands, and then I can discard those lands to Fable, and they already know that I have another Slogurk. Persist Archon. Okay. Can we turn that into a chump blocker? Sack that, sack that. I think I'm gonna loam here. Let's think. So I think we naturally draw, because we may find another land, and then we loam. Then we loam off the Fable. So let's discard, loam, trigger Slogurk a bunch, and that's it. Nice. This is sick. Oh, I love this. Loam back, Triumph, Boseiju, fetch. This is awesome. So now this Archon needs to chump block my Slogurk. That's sick. Yep. Better chump block. And do I want to... No, I don't think I want to Boseiju again. Because I think I want Iteration. We don't have Ball. I was not expecting Persist, honestly. And I think I got the Soul Guide too. So I guess there's nothing that we can really draw. So let's just play Reclaimer and say go. I'm at 6, so even if my opponent persists Archon again, we kill them next turn? I guess they could have Archon into Bolt. If they have Archon into Bolt, I lose. That's the only sequence that beats me here. I guess they could also have like a Fatal Push for this, but then I can save it. Opponent goes land and fetch. Let's see what they can put together. Basic Mountain. Fatal Push. Okay. Smells it. And we win. Alright. Sick. 1-1. Okay, round number 3. Turn 1 monkey. We don't ship these. It honestly breaks my heart, the fact that I'm supposed to play monkey on turn 1 instead of Reclaimer. Makes me so sad. Alright, turn 1, shock, play my stupid, unreasonable dude, and pass the turn. Prismatic Ending, Esper Sentinel. Perfect. I think we're just gonna go Saga Heat, play Reclaimer, and I'm gonna pay for the Sentinel tax. Heat there. Pay for tax, and I just don't want to give my opponent the chance of trading. This is just so much better for me, I think. Exile Ursa Saga, so I guess we're playing against Hammer. Now the question is, do I want to play this Reclaimer? I think the answer is yes. It's close, right? Because even if I don't get to connect with Monkey, the Treasure guarantees that I get to activate my Saga, which is obviously pretty good. But okay, now that my opponent has played Cigar the Seid, I think that I'm supposed to offer the trade now. Yeah, so I'm gonna offer the trade with the monkey. We're gonna see. I really doubt my opponent takes it here. Pure Steel Paladin, can't cast that. So I could play Triumph. I think I'm just gonna play Snow Covered Island and say go, and we can make a construct this turn. Opponent has their own Saga, which is obviously very scary. Steel Shaper's Gift is bad for me, so they get Shadow Spear. Interesting. Okay, so let's put a construct in play, and I'm just gonna block. I imagine that they also have the hammer, because if they want to trade here, I'm ecstatic about this, obviously. No, they do have the hammer. So how do we beat this now? Boseiju, that's how we beat this. Boseiju is how we beat this. Okay, so nothing to do here. Let's untap, let's see what we draw. And I do get to connect, and I do get to play Seismic Assault. I don't think that does anything for me though. Okay, so I guess I have to float the mana, get Expedition Map. We float the mana, get Expedition Map, we crack, and hold up Boseiju. Yeah, but I'm gonna activate Reclaimer. So we can keep the party going. I guess this is gonna be another Saga. Why not? Get another Saga going. So here's Expedition Map. We're gonna serve with monkey. There we go. I'll take a free 0/2. And I guess I'm gonna play this and just say go. Because I'd rather keep the treasures in play. I may need them. Although playing another Reclaimer is kind of exciting. Now I think that the extra treasure is worth more than the Reclaimer on this board. Because it's the red mana that I need. So really looking to draw Ren and 6 here. I think that's my best draw. And I'm gonna target the Esper Sentinel here. I could target the Colossus Hammer, but then that just continues to be a problem. They play another land. If they play this thing, okay, make construct. They're gonna suit it up right now. They are, okay. All right, so let's see what we draw. Yeah, that's an insane draw, obviously. That's the best possible draw we could have found. So now I kill the construct and we get to continue serving. So play Ren plus on Boseiju. Boseiju, your construct. Swing with, I guess, everybody. Because they don't have a haste threat. I mean, I guess they could have the little thing. I can equip, that's hilarious. I can equip Shadow Spear for free with that, which is very funny. I'm going to play out the Kitra Triumph. A little bit awkward when I have a Ren in play, but cycling for 3, like this just never comes up. Like the mana fixing to be able to cast this Seismic Assault is so much more valuable. So they could have a Ginger Brute here and then have a drawn a hammer. They could have main deck Peating Needle, technically speaking, as well. So those are the cards, or like Pure Steel Paladin. Those are the cards that I'm scared of. But I guess Pure Steel I'm not even that scared of, because I can just blow up whatever they suit up with and just like shock it. So it's not even that big of a I think I'm making a construct here. Oh, there it goes. Untap. This can find Soul Guide or Shadow Spear. I think I'm just making a construct here. Make construct. I don't think I want to activate Reclaimer here. I think I'd rather just plus on the Boseiju. Here's Shadow Spear plus, whoops, plus on Boseiju. I could plus on Saga. No, plusing on Boseiju is more relevant. In case my opponent draws exactly the thing. I'm gonna need more lands in place. I'm gonna play this out. I guess I could equip Reclaimer and serve. I don't hate that actually. Mountain. Oh, I guess equipping the, never mind. Equipping the construct is much better. This also stabilized my life total a little bit, which is nice. We have some good blockers. We also have some premium interaction. I think this game is locked up. 3 mana. Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. You sure you want to equip that? Pretty sure they wanted to equip this thing. Because at that point, they're forcing me to split the difference. They know I have Boseiju or Ren going, right? So I don't know what my opponent's endgame is here. Pure Steel Paladin is their best draw. I don't think Stoneforge does anything. I guess Stoneforge finds Kaldra, and after I Boseiju, whatever they do here, the Kaldra is going to actually be a relevant card. Because they can just hardcast it. Okay, so they're suiting up the construct, which doesn't really do too much, really. So they are attacking. Okay. So what I can do is I can block with these two over here and the Thopter over there. Then that gives me the option of I can just blow up the Shadow Spear. Nah, I'm overthinking it. I think I should just, if we assume that their last card in hand is another hammer, I should just Boseiju this thing. Oh, they could have Blacksmith's Skill. That's the card that gets me here. They could have exactly Blacksmith's Skill. They don't. Good. And they just These just don't do anything. I don't understand the attack from the Thopter there. That doesn't make too much sense to me. I mean, I just don't know how they beat Ren Boseiju. So send everything except the Thopter. They could have Nettle Cyst, I guess, but I just blow it up with Boseiju. Opponent goes down to 2. Custom M Knight for value. And I guess I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them the Seismic Assault, and it's correct for me to kill them on their upkeep. Technically correct for me to do this. Boom. Game 2. Okay, so obviously Boseiju is the nuts, as we just saw. Like, won that entire game on the back of Boseiju. Force and Engineered Explosives are nice. Speeding Needle also does some work. And that's it. Solgat Lantern out. Otawara. Actually, Otawara is reasonable. I think Forgotten Cave probably goes, because I'm bringing in a bunch of lands. I think Chalice is a little bit of a trap. Like, I would be very surprised if Chalice is legitimately good. Loam is bad. I think I'm going to cut just... one monkey probably. Maybe 2 monkeys. If I cut monkeys, Chalice becomes more interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's very interesting. I definitely want 4 monkeys on the play, but on the draw I'm not super excited about it. So yeah, let's bring in another iteration, I guess. Maybe Loam is just fine. Maybe Loam is just better than Slogurk. Sand is obviously terrible. How good do I think Boseiju is? Actually, I think it's pretty good, so I'm going to keep this. And I actually think it's opponent with the turn 1 aid. Ornithop. Okay, so... Do I want to Stomping Ground on 1? Or do I want to Kitria Triumph and say go? I think I actually want to Stomping Ground. So fetch Stomping Ground, play Reclaimer. I think just having Reclaimer in play and then just... basically for him to chill there, and eventually it's gonna do something. Like, it doesn't need to do something right now. Let's see if they do have the thing. Looks like they do. Cranial Plate. Yeah, that's fine. I'll take 2. Okay, so now it's a little bit awkward. I think I want to play out Saga and say go. Now it's a little bit awkward because I don't have blue mana for these and these. But Boseiju plus Gurk seems exciting to me. Speeding Needle. So if they name Reclaimer, they don't name Boseiju, right? So this seems good to me. They do name Boseiju. Okay. And they do have the hammer. Okay, so now gonna take a... we don't take a bunch of damage. Okay, interesting. Reclaimer. What are we sacking? Huh. We'll probably have to sack the Saga, actually. I wonder if my opponent is just playing around removal. They're playing around Lightning Bolt. Yeah, okay. But I'm looking for Force Evader here. So let's get Triumph in play so my mana's good. And I'm just gonna iteration for Triumph. Red for Force, because it's really the only card that saves me here. We whiff, so I think we're just gonna concede the game. Yeah, on the play I like monkeys a lot better, probably over Reclaimers actually. And yeah, I think I do want the Chalices actually. So let's just got all the Reclaimers and let's just go with this. I don't think my opponent is going to have access to answers to Chalices now that I think of it. So having turn 1 on the play, it's going to be pretty strong. Definitely keeping this hand. And... huh. Am I just going to name Stoneforge Mystic on the blind? I think that's the play. I think I have to go turn 1 Stoneforge. Turn 1 Stomping Ground, Speeding Needle, Stoneforge Mystic. And then turn 2 we're going to play Ursa Saga and play Chalice of the Board. Excellent. Not bad, that one. So here's this one. Go. So now the amount of cards that actually matter is a lot smaller. Got him. Okay, so they're gonna name Stoneforge. They can't get Kaldra, which obviously is nice. But they can get something like some of the other cards, like Sword of Fire and Ice or whatever. That's fine. Okay, so what now? Fetch for a basic mountain and make a construct. Important to note that my opponent's going to have their own Piting Needle, so I have to be mindful of that. What they can do is they can activate Stoneforge at instant speed, and my construct's going to be at 3. But I think that's fine. If my opponent wants to hit me for 5 instead of making a construct, that's a good deal for me. So I think if they attack with Stoneforge, I just take it. Saga activation seems a lot more valuable. Take it. Okay, cool. So now we are going to activate Saga off of the basic mountain. And now the question is, do we make another construct? Because Saga can go fetch Expedition Map, which is obviously very nice. If they tap out though, I'm just going to Hardcast Force, blowing up the Saga and the Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, I don't think my opponent should activate there. That's very interesting. Because that's a card that I get to pitch to Force. A costly one, mind you, but a pretty good one nonetheless. Alternatively, I can float the mana here, main phase, Hardcast Force, because that's also very reasonable to me, and that allows me to save the Renin 6. I think I like that better, actually, now that I think of it. So definitely going to get Expedition Map, because with the Renin 6 is going to be a pretty big deal to go fetch Boseiju. And now we're going to Force here and here. Opponent can put Stoneforge Mystic into... they can flash in the Sword of Fire and Ice and equip the Stoneforge if they want, or they can make a construct. Both of those are valid options. Okay. It seems to me like making a construct was better than doing this. Because now I just block Stoneforge. Block you. Block. Yep. I'm blocking. I guess they could have March, but I mean it's fine, like whatever. If they march the Chalice, yeah, that's what's going on. They're gonna march the Chalice, and then that kills the construct, but that's kind of fine regardless. Okay, so I can EE for 2, or I can fetch for a basic island, Expedition Map, blow up, Sword of Fire and Ice. That's probably better. So let's see what my opponent does. And again, they can blow me out with skill, whatever. Okay, so this forces my hand, obviously, because now I'm gonna have to crack this now and get Boseiju, and then Boseiju the sword. So that forces my hand, which is a little bit awkward, but okay, they do have the skill. Now I can engineer explosives for 1, 2. Depends on what they do here. If I EE for 1, and blank is not what I was looking for there. Do I have the time to EE for 1? Probably have to EE for 1. So this pluses on Saga. Play Saga. Play explosives for 1. Say go. And now this puts my opponent in an awkward spot, because if they attack me, like I can't lose here. If they attack me, then I'm gonna get Ren plus... I'm gonna have a Ren plus Boseiju going. That skill was very good, obviously. That blacksmith skill was obviously very, very strong. Cranial plating is also a beating. So that's just lethal, right? It's kind of brutal how there's like very few cards that actually gets them here, but that actually get me here, but like those are the cards that get me. That's Xaxis. Like it needed to be cranial plating. It's the only... They needed to naturally draw the needle, and they needed to naturally draw their cranial plating and the skill, obviously. But if they had drawn any of their actual cards in their deck, we would have won. Also, we didn't draw any blockers. Like that was very unlucky. That was very, very unlucky. Anyway, Synchro. Okay, the Tursa Saga card is pretty good. Probably not when you draw 3 copies of it. I'm probably still keeping. Like it's a little bit of an awkward hand, but I can go turn 1, Vents, Map. Turn 2, Saga, crack Map. It's not great, but it allows me to do the things that I want to be doing. Also, we have interaction, which is nice. Let's see what my opponent's up to. Basic Swamp. Okay. Saga. Yurgo. Fetid Heat. Interesting. Okay. Here's my expedition map. I think I'm getting fetch land here because it's important in case I draw a Renin 6. So let's get Wooded Foothills. Yeah, that just, yeah. You know when I just said that it was going to be important for me to draw a Renin 6? So I'm going to assume that we're playing against a Pox deck, or like Smallpox style deck. And this kind of deck cannot beat the card Renin 6, so I'm going to play the card that my opponent can't beat. That's the one that I'm going to play. I have to watch out for like Dothy Voidwalker and stuff like that. That's the only card that can potentially be maybe a little bit problematic. Smallpox me, opponent. Unless you're a coward. Liliana of the Veil. Thumbs up for me. That gets his thumbs up from me. Oh no, they discarded Lingering Souls. How can I ever beat this? They discarded Lingering Souls. They discarded Lingering Souls. So much value. I'm just gonna replay Saga and we're just going to do this Saga thing. I could not care less about this card right here. It's gonna be in standard now. So that's exciting. People love that card. People sure love that card. Smallpox. So let's discard, I guess, Reclaimer. I still don't know if I'm gonna need this heat for something. So here I'm gonna discard Steam Vents. Discard another card. Here's another Saga. And Lingering Souls. Okay. So I'm probably going to be cracking this Soul Guide Lantern, I guess. Let's get Steam Vents here. Play and Shock. And yeah, I think I'm just going to be sucking this. I could get Fable. Oh, I can just kill this thing, but I don't care though. Like my opponent keeps discarding cards and I'm just getting them back. So I think I actively want my opponent to keep this Liliana in play so that I can keep getting value from it. If it ever becomes a problem, I can just heat it. Okay, so it's this deck. Maybe Bog is fine. They could be playing Veil of Summer's probably an okay card here. And they could be playing, I don't think I want Lightning Bolt, but I do want Unholy Heat. They could be playing a way to... they could be playing their own Sagas. I doubt that's the case. The question is, do I want Endurance? I think I do. Endurance seems like decent value. We can cut a Seismic Assault and what a Wara. Alright, there we go. I mean, it's the card that my opponent can't beat, right? Probably supposed to keep this hand that has the card that my opponent can't beat. Now the question is, do I just shock on one and cycle Forgotten Cave? Is that what's up? Oh. Yeah, okay. Let's shock on one and I'm gonna play out the expedition map. This allows me to, if I do fail to find a fetch line, I can just find it with expedition map, and then from there we just resolve Ren and we go from there. I can also go get Saga, which is nice. Opponent boxes. So I guess I'm not gonna be. Can take my Seismic Assault. That's fine. Discarding Lingering Souls. It's not bad. I'm gonna play this out. But yeah, if they can play the Souls, obviously Monkey is not looking too hot here. Maybe Monkey on the draw is just not where I want to be. Oh, they don't have a second land drop. Please. Oh man. Oh, I should have. I'm stupid. I should have bogged, gotten rid of the thing. Whoops. I guess I can just draw that instead. So I think I'm still gonna get Stomping Ground here, and I'm just gonna play a Ren and ping one of these spirits. So now next turn I can get back my land, play Fable, and then the spirit can't raise the Ren. Opponent fetches. I should have definitely played Bog on one. Like, obviously we got rewarded there, but Necromentia. That's not it, opponent. That's most definitely not it. In case you were wondering, that is 100% not it. Okay, attack with monkey. Get in there, monkey boy. Let's see what we get. Flagstones. Unlucky. So we have a land. So I'm obviously plussing here. The question is, do I want to plus on the fetch or on the stomping ground? I think on the stomping ground. Opponent knows about the bog now, but I don't care too much about that. So I think we just chill. Next turn I can play Fable. It's not like my opponent can easily pressure my life total here. They could have Prismatic Ending though. Prismatic Ending would be relevant here. Okay. They drew Ending. But now they can't attack, and I also don't have to attack, so kind of looking pretty good. So I'm gonna fetch for a basic island here. This means that if I draw Slogurk, I'm in business. So here's a Fable, and here's a Monkey. And now my opponent's 1/1 looks embarrassing. 3 mana, 4 mana, Braids. That's not it, opponent. That's just not it. Oh man. Oh, I'm so sorry, opponent. So, hand, bottom, exile. I'd like to play that one, the one that you can't beat. So now they actually have to start sucking their own lands. Oh my god. That's so rough for them. That is so rough for them. Alright, I'm gonna swing with my... I guess I swing with both? Like, if they want to trade, that's fine. They can't pressure my Ren. They can also not block, and I draw a card of the monkey. I get a treasure of the goblin. Yeah, seems hard for my opponent to come back from this. Gonna go on a tangent here. And this was a 4 mana 2/2. Opponent sacrifices a treasure. Yeah, this is... Unfortunately, this strategy is super sweet. But yeah, let's just say that the last couple of years have not, particularly Modern Horizons, has not been kind to the Smallpox deck, unfortunately. I really tried to make this strategy work in the past. I think it's like super sweet, but just doesn't work, unfortunately. Man, I was kind of excited when Braids made it into Modern, but it's just not her time anymore. Not her time. See you next round. Okay, last match. Man, this hand's so good. This other war has been so awkward. Maybe we just can't afford to be playing this thing. I mean, I guess I'm gonna keep this hand though. Kind of brutal though. Like, I really wish that I had a way to play Ren on 2. We even can't play Soul Guide because I'm gonna be forced to exile my own fetch land, and I don't want to be doing that when I have Ren in hand. So yeah, not great. Oh man. Oh no. Of course. Oh my god. Of course we're playing against Sleeping. Oh my. I deserve that. I totally deserve that. Oh my. Okay, so so this is gonna be, I guess, it doesn't matter. We want a basic mountain and we want a stomping ground here. Of course that we're playing against Living End. That's so funny. That is so absurdly funny. So I guess I'm gonna Fable, just cross fingers and hope that it works. Yeah, this is not looking good. Most definitely not looking good. Yeah, I think it's more important to Fable. I think it's more important to Fable here. Because if this results, I can then discard the Slogurk and get it back, which is something at least. Definitely gonna fetch Steam Vents though, so that I can cast Iteration if I draw it. There's no way they force this, right? Yeah. I mean, what could happen though if they live in the next turn and I just lose? That is so funny though that they're playing living in. Like I could have done something about. Okay. Okay. So I guess I discard both creatures now. Nice. Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. So opponent didn't have the force last turn. Yeah, but I think it's better to just like slam this seismic assault anyway because I'm gonna be like my opponent's gonna grief me otherwise. So they can force this though. If they can, they should. They don't. Well, that's good. Activate the Ren already. It's just play land as I go. We do have a bunch of shocks here. So I'm gonna leave my... I think we leave fetch lands in play. Yeah, this is like actively bad for my... This is actively bad for them. Now I can just grow the Slogurk in multiple ways. Yeah, I don't think my opponent wanted to do this. Yeah, you got my Fable. I'm assuming they have another one, and that's why they're throwing this away. I have to assume that that's the case. So this is gonna be growing a Dagurk a little bit. Thanks to Cycle Forgotten Cave. Got some stuff going on. Expedition map finds Saga. I kind of don't want to attack. So let's just plus first. Let's see if this map resolves. And if this resolves, I can go fetch Saga. And then play the Saga. We have 2 legendaries, so it's 2 mana to Orawara. And we're going to have 2 mana, so that's fine. So crack this. Find Ursa Saga. Play Saga. Also just realized we can Boseiju. There are creatures there, but that's probably not a good deal for us. Wait, can I just kill them? I think I may have just missed lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can recast Slogurk once. That gets back 3 lands. Yeah, I had lethal if I had just not played the Saga. Well, whoopsies, I guess. Probably still attacking here. Interesting block. So I guess just gonna shock there. Discarding that. I can kill my own Slugger to get it back. Like I can just kill all my stuff here. 1, 2, 3. Huh. This is very tricky, man. I wish I hadn't missed lethal now. So they have another one. How bad is that for me? I think I'm gonna kill the Slogurk here. I guess that the way to kill it is by... No, but I actually... Man, this is so tricky, wow. This is super tricky. So I can activate this in order to kill my own Slogurk. But then I only get back 2 lands. So I guess I can cycle first. Cycle first. So I get back more stuff. Now we activate this. That dies. Get back 3 lands. And now my opponent... Like we have 14 damage in hand. And we kill them next turn if they leave in end. Wow, this is... Wow. This is very fun. This is very fun. I'm really enjoying this. This is some next level weird stuff going on right here. So now if they do nothing, we start hitting them with monkeys and kiki-jikis and constructs, and if they do the thing, they literally lose. This is great. Oh, this is quite the joyful experience. The funny thing, like, it doesn't even matter what they draw. Like, they're just dead. There's nothing they can do about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess they could have subtlety. No, but they can't have subtlety. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can't have subtlety because I can just draw into the Forgotten Cave, so they actually can't have subtlety. This is sick. I love this. This is awesome. Alright, untap. Another Seismic Assault. Your face. Gonna always yield to these. Your face. Your face, maybe? How's this? 1, 2, 3. Get those back. 1, 2, 3. Cast this boy again. This is sick. That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, BW Box, great. Obviously, Veil of Summer is actually legit here. Void Mirror, Chalices, Endurances, possibly even Disputes. This is a lot of cards. It's so many cards. We do have some stinkers though. We do have some pretty serious stinkers here. Not enough stinkers though. Well, shout out to the Overslime. Really did the thing right there. Really did the thing over there. I think I'm gonna, man. I think I'm gonna cut Otawara. Like, it's so slow. I'd rather have Boseiju instead of Otawara. Loam seems not great. Duration's probably okay. Fable probably fine. I don't think we can cut monkeys in this matchup. Durz is sick. Reclaimer is sick now that we have access to Bojuka Bog. What do we cut? I'm crazy if I'm cutting iterations, right? Cut 1 iteration and 1 Ren, maybe? 1 Fable? It's possible that that doesn't work. Obviously, I have no idea how to sideboard in a matchup like this just yet. This hand is fantastic. Keep it. Leyline of the Void. A good thing for me that I... So let's get a Stomping Ground here. And I think there's more value in turn 1 Reclaimering here. And I think I'm gonna save Chalice for next turn, because I can protect it with Veil. Also, I'm assuming my opponent's gonna have like Foundation Breakers and whatnot. Okay. Play Foothills, play Chalice. Just resolved. Okay, that's the turn. It's nice that we're gonna be able to like get something irrelevant here, and then I can just go get a Saga. Do I want to do that? I think so. I think I want to start doing Saga things here, because it's a way for me to like do stuff without doing anything. But yeah, Leyline is, I guess it makes sense from their side. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna cast Monkey here. And I guess I'm gonna serve. Nah, that 1 point doesn't matter. It's not worth the potential of getting blown out here. Waker of Waves. Because they could have Force right here, untap, leaving end. Okay, so we just untap here, that's nice. A lot of lands get an exile, which is not super great, but it's fine. I'm definitely gonna sack here so that I can get another Saga, and here is where we're gonna do we're gonna get Soul Guide here. Exile Waker of Waves, still playing around, what's his name here? Force of Vigor. Now Monkey's gonna get to do its thing. Can't play all the Waker Waves. I think I'm gonna pass. I think we're gonna pass here. I kind of want to hold on to this fetch for as long as I can. Also, I didn't realize that I attacked. My bad there. I did not mean to attack with the Reclaimer. Whoopsies, I guess. Okay. So now we can start making constructs while still pressuring with Monkey. Can almost cast that. I think we chill here. This Leyline is doing a lot of work. Leyline's doing a lot of work right here. But it looks like opponent's got now. I'm definitely making a construct on instead, but I'm not making a construct next turn. Oh, they're griefing? Interesting. Well, I'm gonna Veil, yeah. Okay, so now I guess we fetch for Steam Vents. Here we make a construct. Be a 3/3. Another Saga is nice. So Second Saga allows me to play and equip Shadow Spear this turn. I'm also gonna be getting Expedition Map. Yeah, I think we're just gonna make a construct here. Wow, they just concede straight up. Reclaimer, too much value. 3-2 is not bad for a very, very preliminary shot at good old Assault Gork. Things that I liked are the against Living End, like the Slogurk Seismic Assault interaction looked very, very strong. Makes me think that after all, maybe this should be 4-offs, and it kind of feels like Slogurk may simply be better in the deck than Life from the Loam. So we can probably cut that, add the 4th copy of Slogurk right there, and maybe cut one of the iterations for the 4th Assault. The other thing that I think I learned is that Orawara is a very strong card, but I just don't think that it works here. Like it really destroyed our mana in multiple scenarios, made things very awkward, and I feel like if anything, I would like to have maybe another Steam Vents here, maybe another Ketria Triumph, maybe even a Breeding Pool. Like Breeding Pool, it's a pretty costly card to have in our deck, right? Like we're trying to cast Seismic Assault. Like obviously, any non-red producing land is a really, really big cost. But yeah, this probably should be a Steam Vents. This should probably just be a second copy of Steam Vents. The thing is that the blue splash is so small with just like the Slogurks and expressive iterations, but having access to a second blue source that we can fetch off of any fetch land, it's probably relevant in Cyber the Games when we're trying to maybe play a Slogurk and we want to like force it through a Mystical Dispute or something. So those are my thoughts there. So I'm probably, for the next iteration of this deck, which I am going to be playing for sure. Like this was too much fun not to do again. But in my next iteration of this deck, I'm definitely going to be making some adjustments. But yeah, Odawara felt like it was maybe a little bit too much, and this interaction, like both of these cards felt very strong. And I really like the fact that Fable allows us to discard redundant copies of either our legendary creatures or Seismic Assault itself, because obviously redundant copies of this don't really do anything. So with that in mind, I feel like the next time I try this out, it's gonna be even more interesting. I'm surprised at how smooth the limited matchup felt. Like even in one, my opponent griefed me with Sogalanta. Sure, like my opponent had like they were in a little bit of a rough spot, but Fable did a lot of work in putting my opponent in that rough spot by discarding the Gurk and the Monkey, right? So this card really pressures rather quickly. Something to keep in mind for sure. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed as well. If you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, you can support my content through multiple ways that you can find in the description of the video down below, be it with donations, joining Patreon, or also, of course, sign up for coaching sessions as well. That's it from me today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.